In this video, I'm rolling with Funny Joe again. Funny Joe and I have several rounds on the channel. I'll put the links in the description. He's been training, I'm not sure, I'm gonna have to say in between 2 to 3 years. He's what I would consider a seasoned blue belt. Things are clicking for him. He learned how to use his pressure. He's in sanitation. We call them New York's strongest. And he definitely represents that. His grip fighting is good just based off of how strong it is. It feels like a clamp. He's got good base, he's heavy, he's thick, and he's a good learner. He's got a great sense of humor, self-depreciating. So there's always a little bit of chit-chat. He is definitely the funniest guy in the gym, and if he wanted to, he could be a successful stand-up comedian, in my opinion. So here's his pass. He likes to put pressure and then jump over my hooks. Now, what I should really do to defend that, if I was serious, is I would just start basing on his shoulder, pushing on his shoulders, his head, and making space and getting out of there. So there I was able to get a sweep. Joe is not a guard player. He has, in my opinion, put his efforts into learning how to be a guard passer, which is good. But there's work to be done with his guard, and the reason why is he's been so focused on the passing. So his passing is very good. Like, this is a good position. He's flattening my leg. He's putting all his weight down. You know, he's got good athleticism for a man of his size. But again, I'm not really looking to fight to the death. So if I can, you know, keep him off me by using a certain amount of effort, well, then that's what I'm going to do. I don't have to submit him. I don't have to go on the offense. I still want to finish the round where I'm not breathing heavy. This is during open mat. You've probably already seen the roll with Tar, the 240-pound white belt. After this, I have a few more rolls. So I rolled with Tar just before him. So there I'm looking for my butterfly sweep. Now you have to realize he knows my game. You know, outweighs me significantly, knows my game, and is what I would consider a seasoned blue belt. If I had to assign, you know, stripes or really get specific about where he is as a blue belt, I would say he's closer to purple. So there he did that pass. I'm not going to say I let him do it, but I knew he was going to do it. So I made some noises jokingly when he passed. And I guess it's because I know from this position, I can hold him off as far as getting submitted. Just because I'm technically proficient at this position. There's another famous, well, I'm not famous, but there's another defensive jiu-jitsu guy. I think, what's his name? Pret Mikkelsen? Am I saying it right? But I've watched a bunch of his videos. And it looks like he uses a similar defense. So there I was able to catch his leg with my hook. Did you see that? It happened quick. You might want to rewind it. But I caught his leg with my hook, and then I pushed it into my half guard or quarter guard. Again, I'm trying to do this without using a lot of effort, and it's hard because Funny Joe is becoming talented. He's developed a skill, an uncommon skill. So here I'm just looking to, again, get my leg back in. Here we wanted to do like a step over triangle probably. So the way you stop that is by, well, the way I stop it is by bringing my leg up. Again, that's because I'm flexible, and that's why it's good to be flexible. And as you can see, I was able to just peel them off pretty easily from that position. But waiting for Joe to make a mistake, as you could see, it took some time. Now, if I wanted to be offensive and start exploding and bucking my hips and shrimping, and I think I could get out of there, but it would use a ton of effort. And honestly, I don't even want to put that type of strain on my system. So here I'm showing him, if somebody grabs your head, the butterfly guard sweep is there, right? As soon as they grab my neck, if I can sweep them to that side because that hand is occupied. Now you could lock that hand to your head, but you don't have to strip it off your head before you go for the sweep, because when you do that, they're going to know it's coming. So again, I'm showing him, once I have a committed clinch, it's going to be easy to send me over. And, you know, if you watch the channel, you see it, I do this sweep quite a bit. So really what you want are arm drags from here and underhooks. If you're going to grab someone's neck in a clinch, what you want to do is pull their head down and move away so there's space for their head to fall. If you just sit there and grab someone's neck and clinch, it doesn't really help you. And I notice a lot of guys do that. It gives you this false sense of control. I think it was John Danaher I was watching not long ago. He said, the worst thing about jiu-jitsu are the false positives. So it's like things that you think work but aren't technically sound, but you don't know that yet because your technical proficiency isn't that high. So here I'm looking to casually clear his hooks. There he made space. You see, he doesn't play guard. And again, that's not, you know, we have a lot of tools to sharpen and we only have so much time to sharpen them. So if you want to go with one, that's fine. But eventually, he's going to need to develop a guard, a preferred guard, things of that nature. You don't want to go into purple belt with no guard. I mean, it's not that he has no guard. He has a guard. But there's a certain level of technicality that you need. You need another level. A basic guard isn't enough to get, in my opinion, to get a purple belt. See, as he comes into me, I look for that Kimura.
So, when you do the hip bump, right, when the guy resists it, grab the Kimura while you're up there. Right?
I think about going,
Yeah.
I think about going here.
Because when you hip look, he's like this.
So I'm teaching him that the hip bump is going to open up the shrimp, and based on what type of reaction you get, it could open up the guillotine. That's pretty much one of the first things I learned when I went to a jiu-jitsu class, which is probably too advanced maybe, but I remember I was taught hip bump sweep, guillotine, Kimura combos. So there I'm explaining if the guy has bad posture, maybe they don't know jiu-jitsu, you pull them down, their head's in guillotine city.
I'm going to look to come back, right? So go hip bump.
So when you hip bump them, their arm might come away from their body, and that's when you catch the Kimura.
Yeah. Just go right to sitting on my head.
If they base in and they really put their head down and drive into you, then you look for the guillotine. So there's all the usual suspects. They were in the background during the last video. I have my ex-marshal shirt and shorts on, rash guard and shorts. I'm too old for this. You can get those in the ex-marshal link in the description. And if you use code Jits over 50, you get 15% off. Plus it helps support the channel. Or you could just buy me a coffee. So here I fast forwarded it because I was talking with these guys and Joe couldn't find a partner, and then he came back because he had some questions about options from the gift wrap.
Tough position. You know what? I was afraid.
Gift wrap is a tough position to get out of. You are truly compromised there. That's why I do my best to avoid having that happen to me, and I would say I'm able to avoid it 95% of the time, but there is a percentage where I end up, it's impossible sometimes to not be caught with it, especially if someone is better than you. So here, one of the options I like is to pull him up on top.
Which is one thing.
Kind of what I was looking for when I
Right.
when I rolled.
And then here's the other thing, mainly, right? So we're here, right? I got the gift wrap. So now that means I have this, right? From here, this could even be a choke, right? Or, again, I can just come here, right? And then get all this stuff, right? Now when I go
Here are all your wrist locks.
I instantly go to this. I don't
Now
do it
when I
this way.
finish a Kimura or an Americana, I try to finish with the wrist lock simultaneously.
Right? Americana as well. So now when I finish,
Least resistance.
it's a double submission.
Because you already have this.
But don't explode.
But like anything else, don't explode into it, especially with a very competitive partner who might not tap.
That on, you break his wrist. But if I'm training with a normal guy that will submit.
We definitely don't want to hurt our training partners, even if they're knuckleheads,
Most guys here will submit.
even if they don't want to tap. I've had arm bars, Kimuras,
When they explode and their wrists
good to go, and my partner wasn't tapping, and I knew. I was like, what am I going to do, break his shoulder?
So here, look,
So I just switched to something else.
watch, see how I bring my leg
It doesn't happen
my leg
often,
under? Watch.
but it's happened over the years.
I love this. This is where I want to be all the time.
No, this is great. Because
Right?
all I can probably do
You
here
can't
is
try
try
it.
this.
Right. And even if you do that, I can start pulling your arm up.
I kind of like that position better than traditional back. I feel like it's a more advanced position. My feet aren't between his legs. They're up on his body, off to the side. It's harder to peel off. You don't have the arm muscle. You end up just using shoulder muscle to peel.
What I call the diamond.
And I feel like all the attacks are there. Even if you were on the back, you'd probably scoot up to get those attacks anyway. It's like scooting up in the mount,
So we're here. So I want
but it's a back mount. And here's the front. I call it the diamond.
to have almost this.
I think he said John Danaher calls it the triangle setup, which I agree with, of course. But you could get that diamond from the front or the back, and it leads to, for me at least, many of my submissions.
This way, yeah, if they're down where your legs are, you can start peeling, you can fight my feet. Right. Fight my feet when they're up here. No, your muscles here.
Here I'm explaining that
So
concept.
my feet are like up here or down here. If they're down here, you have everything. Right. This is your structure. Right up here. Right up here.
It's going to be harder to get somebody's legs off you that are wrapped around your upper torso, similar to why you go to high mount, etc.
You should always look for the gift wrap, especially in no right? So when you're in the same exact position, instead of looking for the gift wrap, look for the collar. Right.
Thank you for watching. More to come with Funny Joe.
Off the hand fight.
Please like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe.
Fancy schmancy.